Hello dear students, my name is Vikram Nalode. I am an assistant professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. I am working at SATCOE, Yatra Recirculating. In today's lecture, we will cover some basics of a linkage system of steering system. So let's start with the content. In the content, we will discuss objectives of today's lecture, then linkage systems and its types, and we'll discuss about general arrangements and layouts of steering system. So basically we already have discussed the objective in previous lecture that is related with the same content. So objective of for today's lecture, that is to study various linkages and arrangements of steering system. So uh, what are the steering linkages? Generally it forms a connection of various links to transmit the motion from one point to another in the steering system. So this is in between the steering box and front wheels. It is meant to transfer the side to side or front to rear movement of pitman arm, that is also called drop arm, into left to right movement of the wheel. So different types of linkage systems and components are there. So we will discuss in coming slides about the drop arm or pitman arm and number of different linkages. The form of steering linkage that depends on the vehicle type. So different types of vehicles are in use, so different types of steering linkages are there. That is whether the vehicle has independent front suspension or a rigid axle type front suspension. Introductory part of suspension system we have covered in unit number 1, but in this unit we will go thoroughly about different types of suspension system. Independent suspension system, in the sense all the wheels are having their own suspension system, but in the case of rigid axle type, means all the wheels are connected through the rigid axle over which suspension system is connected. So that part we will cover in today's lecture. We are here to discuss about steering linkages. Suspension system we will cover in coming videos. So as per our objective, general arrangement and layout of the steering system. In previous lecture we had discussed the functioning of steering wheel, and we know that the rotary action, the rotary motion of the steering is converted into the angular movement of the wheels. So in this picture we observe there are different parts we have already discussed, and similarly we will discuss these parts in this lecture also. So important parts I will tell that this is the steering column which holds the steering wheel. Inside the steering column, that steering shaft is there. So this shaft is rotated and this rotary motion is transmitted through the steering gearbox to the wheels via various linkages. So here it is the cross shaft, that is here is the drop arm. So let's discuss all these points one by one about drag links, tie rods, knuckles, steering arms. So similarly this is picturized in this downward picture. So it shows that how drag link is connected with the drop arm and with the gearbox, and it transmits the motion to knuckle arm and various linkages. And similarly it enables the movement of the wheels. So in previous lecture we discussed about some of the steering gears. There are 5 types in our lecture. The first 3 we have already covered about worm and nut steering gear. this one. Second is worm and worm wheel steering gear, that has been covered. And rack and pinion steering gear, this is also this already has been covered. So let's focus on the today's point of discussion, that is recirculating ball steering gear. So basically I will tell various units of this mechanism. This is the steering column, in which steering shaft is present, and that means through which we will operate the movement of the steering wheel. Here worm is there, so ball guides are there, end play adjuster, and then nut. This is the cross shaft, this is the link rod, and this is the drop arm. So we are talking about the steering gear boxes inside, how mechanism is operated. So about recirculating ball steering gear type, the system consists of a worm gear here, which is provided on the end of steering shaft. Then it is consisted of a large nut with number of outside teeth, which mesh with the teeth of worm gear, as well as with the teeth on sector gear. And then it is also consisted of two sets of ball grooves to the of the worm in between the nut and worm. The bearings are provided to reduce the friction and steering effort. Then this type of steering gear consists of steering linkage, that is hooked to the sector gear. The worm gear turns with the turning of steering shaft, and that makes the ball to roll in the grooves. That causes the nut move up and down along the worm, and movement of nut sets the sector gear to turn at an angle. Consequently, the link rod, this one, link rod is actuated through the drop arm, resulting in the desired steering of the wheels. So how does that motion is transmitted through the drop arm to the link rod, and it is connected with the further linkage system of the steering mechanism. So the power is given through the wheel manually, and it is transmitted in this gearbox. So this is all about recirculating ball steering gear. So next is worm and roller steering gear. I will tell various units. This is the steering column, in which steering shaft is rotated through the movement of the steering wheel. Here it is worm, that rollers are here existing. This is the cross shaft, and this is the drop arm. If you consider, if we compare it with the previous diagram I will show, see, this is the drop arm, and here steering gear box. This is the unit we are talking about, how the power, how the motion is received from the steering wheel, and various mechanisms are carried out in this gearbox, and it, along with this drop arm is connected, and that is connected with the drag link with the help of balls. So let's continue with the worm and roller steering gear. The worm and roller steering gear consists of worm at the end of the steering shaft. The worm has a greater diameter at the ends, and it is gradually reduced at the center. The worm shaft is mounted on bearing designed to resist both radial and end thrust. Secondly, such type of steering gear consists of a two tooth roller this one, which is fastened to the sector or cross shaft. Then the teeth of this roller are in engagement with those of the arm. The sector shaft is fitted to the drop arm, this one. The rotation of steering wheel turns the worm, and with that occurs the rotation of roller and its cross shaft. The drop arm then moves in an arc, and that rotates the road wheels. How in this lecture means we have discussed about only two types of steering gears, that is recirculating ball steering gear and Worman roller steering gear. We understood the mechanisms. The basic thing is the motion is obtained from the rotation of the wheel, and via steering shaft we get that motion, and this mechanism is very helpful to transmit similar motion to various linkages. In similar manner, in worm and roller steering gear, this is the steering column inside steering shaft is present, and that is rotated with the help of steering wheel. The worms and rollers are here, we have discussed, and through the cross shaft, as it is connected with the drop arm, it transmits the motion to various linkages for successful motion and efficient steering system. So along with that, we have discussed worm and worm wheel steering gear, rack and pinion steering gear, and worm and nut steering gear in the previous lectures. So these two lectures give very informative ideas about the steering gears. So in coming lectures, in coming video, we will discuss about different types of steering linkages. So for today's lecture, I hope you understood various types of steering gear and its mechanism. Thank you so much.